And here we have a list of all the parameters that are in this plugin. It's a fairly nice and simple plugin. So I've got cutoff frequency, resonance, and some different parameters lifted down the left-hand side. And along the top, you've got strip controller 1, breath controller 2, key pressure, key roll, key yaw, and absolute strip. So these are all the controllers, and to connect one, so say I wanted to connect the breath controller to cutoff frequency, all I need to do is click in the box where breath controller meets cutoff frequency, there, and you get this green 1. And now, if I blow on the, sorry, go full screen again. If I blow on the breath controller, you can see the cutoff frequencies moving about. Okay, so now if I play a note, I'll move the cutoff frequency right down to start with. If I play a note, I'm basically controlling the filter with the breath. You can hear that a little bit better if I turn up the resonance on the filter. So there you go. So there's many things you can do with that. I can just put loads of ticks in the box, and I can connect strip controller, key, yaw, to all the parameters. I'll just show you the difference as well. You've got strip controller and you've got absolute strip. So these are two different things. Strip controller. So if I connect strip controller to the cutoff frequency now, you can see if I move it up and down. Hopefully, let me zoom in a bit. If I move it up and down, you should be able to see that, like, the strip controller, the cutoff frequency is moving up and down. But the way it works is it starts from wherever I first put my finger. So I can put my finger here and move up, and it goes up. Put my finger here and move down, it goes down. Same as if we're using the pitch on some of the sampler instruments. But if I just move my finger around like this, it's not doing anything. I need to put my finger and move it before it has an effect. If instead of choosing strip controller, if I choose absolute strip, I can move my finger around, and it's quite small, but basically the cutoff frequency is jumping around to wherever I put my finger. So I can know in advance for certainty, if I put my finger here, the cutoff frequency is always going to jump to a certain point, and it's always going to be the same. So I can do that sort of thing. Right. Yeah, so that's the difference between absolute strip and strip controller. Another name for the first strip controller is relative strip controller. Okay, so they're the inline effects. So you can have a different effect for every instrument. Every instrument's got a slot available. And you get to all that from the inline effects control page, which is course 1, number 6. And so you've got, along the left, you've got the browse for inline effects for each of the different instruments. And along the second course, course 2, you've got the bypass keys for each respective instrument as well. So if it's green, it's bypassed. If it's red, it's not bypassed. Okay. So the next one, so I'll look at the send effects now. Send effects, we control these from the instrument and effects control page, which is, hold down the Mo key, and it's key number 4 on course 1. So I hope you can see that's green. So I let go of the Mo key, and I'm presented with quite a lot of lit keys. This, by the way, is on page number 4 of your guide. And in this advanced control page, the two courses do kind of slightly different things. The right course, or course 2, these are the controls for specific instruments, and what these keys do will change depending on what instrument you want to affect. The keys on course 1, they're kind of global controls, and they always stay the same. I'll explain that a little bit more. So in the advanced control page, we have this blank key in the top left corner, the one that's not lit up, and this is our sub-mode key. A lot of you would have come across this before. And you hold that down. When I hold down that key, the lights on course 2 light up red and green. And this is how I choose which instrument I want to access the advanced controls for. And again, by instrument I mean sampler 1, 2, 3, audio unit 1, 2, or the cello or the clarinet. So I hold down the sub mode key, and it's in the same order again as it usually is. So if I wanted, for example, the advanced controls for the, or just for sampler 1, I'd hold down the sub mode key and I'd press the top key on course 1. So hopefully you can see that's lit green at the top there, and then let go. And now, once I've let go, all the keys along course 2, these are my controls for sampler 1. And now on course 1, these always stay the same, and these are the controls that we use for the send effects, as well as there's master volume at the top and a way of looking at the mixer, which I'll show you in a second. But at the bottom here, these are the controls for your send effects. By default, okay, so there's 2 slots for send effects, and again, what I meant by a send effect is you have your effect, say a reverb, and you have all your different instruments, and each of these instruments can send audio to this reverb, like of differing amounts. So one might want loads of reverb, so you send quite a lot of audio from this instrument to the reverb, and then this one might just want a touch of reverb, so you send a tiny bit of audio, and it all goes into the reverb, and then the reverb goes out through the speakers. In the Pico default setup, actually, there is a reverb loaded into send effect 1 already. So what we need to do is look at these 4 keys here. There's a pattern of keys that goes orange, red, orange, red. On the setup guide, they're labelled as FX Send 1 Audio Unit Browse, FX Send 1 Audio Unit GUI Show and Hide. Then you have the same thing, FX Send 2 Audio Unit Browse and FX Send 2 Audio Unit GUI Show and Hide. So they are the 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th keys down I'm looking at. The ones that are lit red, or the ones that are labelled GUI Show and Hide, these are the way that you can bring up the effect window on your screen for that, whatever effect is loaded into that slot. So I'm going to hit FX Send 1, where it's labelled FX Send 1 Audio Unit GUI Show and Hide. So it's the red key. I'm going to press that, and on my screen, you can see I've got this, it's made by Apple again, but it's a reverb audio unit. And we could, so this audio unit, this reverb, is shared by all the instruments in the setup. I'm going to demonstrate that. So how about the clarinet? So what I'm going to do is try and send some of the clarinet to the reverb so we can hear what it's doing. So first of all, let's get we need the clarinet advanced controls up. So I hold down the sub mode key and choose key number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 7 is the clarinet. So the 7th key down on the course 2 is lit green. I let go, and now course 2 has become my advanced controls for the clarinet. Now the 3 orange keys at the bottom, these control the amount of the clarinet being sent to the 2 effects and the delay that I've got in the system. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll go through it a little bit more. But before we do this, there's a handy way of seeing what's going on. So if I go to the browser, sorry, I don't need to be full screen just yet. Oh, sorry. It's all right. And the 3rd key down on course 1, this is called the mixer browse key. So I hit that key, and now we can go full screen. In my browser, I'm now looking at the mixer. And so what this shows me is the volumes of all the instruments, like they're just general volume. But I can also look at how much is being sent from each instrument to the send effects. So we're looking at the clarinet. So I'm going to click on clarinet. And then along the right here, you can see channel volume. The clarinet's volume is 110 out of a possible 120. But down here it says AU1 effect send 75. Now, hopefully you can see that. Now this is how much of the clarinet is being sent to the reverb. There's actually quite a lot. I didn't realise that, but there's actually quite a lot being sent already. I can change this by pressing the 4th key down on the clarinet. So the bottom, on the course 2, on any instrument, the bottom 3 keys are going to be orange. The top one of those 3 is your FX Send 1 key. Next one is FX Send 2, and the bottom one is your delay send. FXN1, these keys work by you nudge them either up or down, so as if you're pitch bending, and you can nudge them this way to turn it up and this way to turn it down. So if I nudge it like that, you can see that on my screen. Let me zoom in even more. Can you see that all right? Yeah. So I'll nudge it down now, so I can. Okay. So I do it some more. Then
do you want me to nudge and then you do
the go on, you nudge. So is that one there?
This one here?
Yeah. There you go. So Aaron's kind of moving the amounts and up and down. So we'll put it absolutely full first. So I'm going to turn it up to 120. All these mixer settings are out of 120. So I go absolute full, and then I'll go to the clarinet and. So you can hear there's a load of reverb on there. Go back to my advanced control page and nudge it down. So I nudge, until it goes, you can't see it moving until I move my mouse. So there we go. So hopefully you can see, okay, I put it down to 39 now. And if I go back to the clarinet and, so it's a much drier sound. And I can do that with any instrument. So if I go to the effects end, I'll do it with the piano now. First of all, let's get the piano up in the browser. Can you make this full screen? So, it's all right. So you go up one level, and I'm going to look at the piano, which is in sampler 3. So I choose sampler 3, and then up here on the right, we've got the volume of the piano is 110 as well. AU1 FX send. Oh, it's already at 80. But okay, well I can turn it up some more. So I need to go to advanced controls again. Sub mode key, so I can make sure I'm in the advanced controls for the piano. So hold down the sub mode key and choose instrument number 3 on course 2, so third one down, let go. And now course 2 is my controls for the piano. The bottom 3 orange keys are my effects end controls. So the top one of those 3 is FX end 1, the next one FX end 2, bottom one is delay. Okay, so I'm going to nudge up FX end 1, so that's the third from bottom on course 2. It's the same for all the instruments, and so now hopefully you can see that AU1 FX end is now on 120 here. And then I go and play the piano. Oh, I've still got that pitch effect on it, so I'll just turn that off if we can remember how. So it's course 1, number 6 for the inline effect control. Let go, and along the course 2, these are my bypass. Third one down, instrument 3, it's red, which means it's not bypassed. If I press it, it toggles to green, which means it is bypassed. Now I go to play the piano. So you can hear there's loads of reverb on that.